Hello, good day. This is Steve Higginbotham, and I am the Coffee Coach. Today's topic I'd like to bring to you is about what I call the lost art, mentorship. As a talent acquisition specialist, subject matter expert in career transition, having worked in this industry for almost 2 decades, there's something that I've come across, and this has happened with Fortune 100 companies and even startups. And it has to do with several different key factors. And it all comes down to I'm too busy, I don't have enough time, or let's focus on the job at hand. And what happens with that is we hire great talent. We train great talent. And we all want to retain great talent. I think we would all agree on that, correct? But there's something in the middle there that is a gap. It is something you have to read between the lines. And my job is to build bridges over those gaps. In one of the books I'm writing, it's called Build Bridges, Not Walls. And it's really talking about a deeper level of connection. Now, everybody communicates, but we don't all truly connect. And let me clarify that a little bit. As a hiring manager, as a talent acquisition specialist, as a candidate, we all want a career. We all want to be making the money that we feel we're worth, right? So our net worth, and our net value. And we also sometimes, maybe more than others, far too often, are undervalued and underappreciated. And it's simply a matter of the boss's boss has these tasks, and everybody delegates, and you could say shit rolls downhill in a sense. But the reality of it all, we're too busy. We don't have enough time. True, but those are excuses. We don't make an effort. And I'm talking to you leaders. I'm talking to you emerging leaders, people that want to be leaders. Are we really mentoring our people? Now, we're coaching them, we're training them, we're talking to them, we buy them lunch, might bring them bagels, might bring them some Starbucks or something here and there. But are we truly mentoring them? And let me give you a scenario. And I don't have necessarily the hardcore factual data, so please don't hold this against me. But if you look at an individual, and this is on an average, I've done a lot of research around this, and people might criticize this a little bit, but if you look on average at any type of company, we always say we're working 40 hours, we're working 45, we're working 50 hours, we're working too much. But let's break that down and let's peel back that layer and understand, what are you really doing that you're calling work, first off? And I'll give you a scenario. People walk in, they set down their backpacks, they set down their briefcase, they turn on their computer, they go get coffee, go get water, go get tea. Maybe they go get breakfast, they say hi to someone on their way in. Maybe they're in a little bit early. But when they actually sit down and start actually doing their job, is it 8 a.m.? Is it 7 a.m.? And do they get off after 8 hours of true work? Do they have an extended lunch? Do they have another break in between that at 10 o'clock? Do they have a break at 2 o'clock and go get another cup of coffee or tea or even a soda maybe in the afternoon? And are they leaving right at 5 or are they staying later? And again, this doesn't apply to everybody. But are we really truly working 8 hours in a day, 40 hours work in a week? Now, I work in the consulting side of it. The average hours that people work, on average, and again, this is over the last decade or two, is 36 to 38. So let's just use 37 as a roundabout general number. That's 3 hours less per week that people are working that they're actually getting paid for, because most people are clocking in 40 hours. Let's just say that. Now, if you're a full-time employee, I have seen this at times, not everybody, they take a little bit more advantage because they're full-time. They're not consultants. They don't have to. They have other perks. Oh, I worked this weekend, or I did this or that. You know, turning on your computer, checking an email, and sending a response in 5 minutes doesn't constitute working over the weekend. Sorry to say that, but it doesn't. So if you take those 3 hours and you really monetize that, and I'm going to break this down into mentorship, which is basically the main topic that I'm bringing you today. If you were to hire me, for instance, let's just say it's $100 an hour. That's not realistic, but let's just say that right now. And I was to work with that individual that's working 37 hours, and I was to work with them for 1 hour a week outside of the 37. And I really took the effort and the time to get to know them, who they are as a person, who they are as a worker, what they love about their job, what they hate about their job, and what are their assets, what are their strengths, where do they want to see their career, where do they want to go, and how much time would they put into that. And let's just break that down over 13 weeks, which is a quarter. Most people can comprehend that. Now, at the end of the 13 weeks, you paid me $1,300. But I can almost guarantee you 90% of those individuals that are going to work with me and be mentored after 13 weeks are going to start to work 37, 38, 39. Some of them are going to be working 40, 42 because they see a value in the opportunity that someone is spending time with them because their boss is too busy. Now, outside of that, I haven't told you this, but I'll be working with that individual boss to understand what can this person take on more as a task? What can they do to better their goals? I'll be managing their performance. I'll be helping them in their talent management to get them from point A to point Z at the end of the year. But we're focusing on 13 weeks, so I hope you're still with me. Going back to 13 weeks, you paid me $1,300. We've spent literally 13 hours. However, let's just say they're working 39 hours. They're working 2 extra hours. So it's 40 hours, but one of it's training and leadership. 2 of it is more productivity. Now, they may not make $50 an hour, so that $100 may not equate and wash out, right? But a lot of the times it does. Let's take that from 13 weeks to a year. Now, at that point, you've spent less, or let's just say right around $5,000, $5,200. Fair enough? However, how much productivity you've gotten in an employee? How much retention is that employee going to bring? How much more loyalty they're going to have? Because I'm working with the manager, the hiring, the leader separately, and I'm working with the individual separately. And we're not talking about their day-to-day jobs. We're talking about career progression, what they can do to better themselves, better their career, provide a better service, or provide a better product. Now let's fast forward that and astronomically bring that into that person might get 1 or 2 promotions in 10 years. Let's focus on 10 years. If they are working now, let's just hypothetically say 47 hours. Because now they see the value and the work. And some of that is really focused in on how can they better their performance each day. And they're working smarter because now they are fully engaged. They are loyal. They are committed, as well as you as the leader. And if they work 10 hours more per week, and you break that up over the whole year, do you know how many hours that is? 520 extra hours. That is an entire quarter. If you break that in monetarily, the $5,000 that you paid me that first year, to what they're bringing to you now at the end of the year by working only 10 hours extra per week, may sound like a lot, but they're more effectively working. How much money is that? So if they were making $100,000 that year, you paid me $5,000. They just added $25,000 more dollars to the bottom line, and you netted up $20,000. Now multiply that. Now I step out after a year. Multiply that 9 more times. You're getting 2.5 extra years out of them per decade. And if they get promoted and they move up, now their network is more expensive. How much more value does that bring back to your table? If they make $100,000 a year over 10 years, and obviously we're not talking about increases in salary because we can't comprehend that at this point, but if they give you 2.5 extra years in those 10 years, and they make $100,000, that's $250,000 that you and the company just netted up, and you paid $5,000 for a mentor, and you cared enough about their career, and they see the value in that. That's how much mentorship means to an individual, can mean to a company, and how much money I can save you. And that's just one individual. Multiply that by 10. Multiply that by 25. Multiply that by 100. How much value do you place on mentorship now? Makes you think a little bit about it. And it's tough. We're all busy. We all don't have enough time. That's why I'm in this job. Not only have I been on both sides of that fence, but I'm here to push people out of their comfort zone. I have an innate ability to find their inner drive, to tap into it, to get them to reach further than they've reached before. The same token, you leaders, I also have that ability to bring back probably some areas that you might not have uncovered. Hopefully some of them good, but some of them also could be very bad. And maybe that person that you have, maybe there's a reason that you're not spending time on them. Maybe they're not worthy of retaining. Have you thought of that? And candidates out there, unfortunately, I'm speaking about you sometimes. Are you really giving the company everything that you have? Are you passionate about what you're doing? Or are you so focused on, I want more money, I'm worth more? We've all had crap jobs. We've all had crap leaders. We've all been ignored. No excuses. It is your responsibility, candidates and employees, to meet with your leaders, to get time on their calendar, to be mentored. And it is your responsibility, managers and leaders, to mentor the individuals that are eager, that want to learn, that can comprehend, that are ready for the next level. Whether you call them a rising star, a high potential, or even a possibility of moving to the next level. If you want to retain your people, you've got to start thinking about mentorship. And if you're not capable of doing it, then reach out to someone like myself who is. Now, I'm not just a coach. I'm not an executive coach. I'm not a career coach. I'm not a talent acquisition advisor coach, right? I am truly a unique coach. I provide that mentorship, that ability to follow someone in their career and help them all the way down the road to get to where they need. And I bring back the good and the bad to the leaders. And sometimes it's raw data, and sometimes it's hard to swallow. It's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. And I have this innate ability to evaluate individuals fairly quickly and judge them, but I can see things that maybe you can't see, potentials you can't. And I've also been on the other side of the fence. I've been judged by my boss who thought that I was one way and did this. But when I worked with other individuals that believed in me, that gave me a little bit of hope, that kind of pushed me a little bit, they saw something totally different. So take off your blinders and reach out to a mentor like myself. And let's grow this business. Let's make you, your employees, and everyone successful. Thank you for watching. I'm Steve Higginbotham, and I am the Coffee Coach. And I'd love to be your mentor. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.